What is going on, everyone? Nero again, here for you, some Titanfall. We got some Titanfall beta footage here. I figured I would go ahead and unload all of this because when the actual Titanfall game itself releases, the full version, then all of a sudden all this, beta gameplay is just going to be completely worthless. So, figured I would unload it here. You guys can just enjoy that. It would be some Titanfall beta, some pretty good gameplay, some high scoring stuff, and good KDs, spreads across the board, and just fun stuff overall. But welcome to this week's episode of Dear Nero, which of course is a weekly series here on my channel where you guys send me in fan mail and or fan questions, and I do my best to go ahead and answer it. We're going to just hop into this because we got a decent amount of questions. I'm not entirely positive how long this show is going to be because there's a decent amount of questions, but they're more, quick Q&A kind of questions. They're not really long, in-depth questions. We'll have to see. We'll see how long this episode is going to be. First one, he writes, Dear Nero, I was wondering when Titanfall comes out, are you going to buy it for the Xbox or are you going to buy it for the PC? Reed from Texas. So Reed from Texas, I'm going to buy it for the Xbox, and the reason for that is, well, one, I do have a decent PC that can probably run it pretty well, but I'm not good at, fast-paced, Twitch-based, reflex-style games in a competitive nature on the PC. See, I was never like a lot of people my age or something. They played a lot of PC games, growing up. They used to play Quake, or they used to play Doom, or they used to just whatever. They used to play a ton of PC games growing up, and now they just have all these crazy mouse and keyboard skills. I don't. I just started PC gaming like a year, maybe two ago, and like if I go play Call of Duty 4 or World of War on the PC or something like that, I just don't do well because I'm not very good with the keyboard and mouse. I've never, tried to be good at it, and it's frustrating, and there's like this learning curve that I don't want to get past because like while I'm playing, it's like, okay, well, here's Call of Duty 4. I'm freaking amazing at this game, but here I am just going negative every single game because I can't, do something as simple as, climb a wall or, turn a corner and strafe while shooting and things like that. Whereas if I had a controller, I'd be dominating this entire lobby. So it's just like there's this learning curve. It's like relearning something I'm already good at on a different platform. I'm just like, that's silly. But, it's things like co-op stuff like Zombies on the PC or like Borderlands or Left 4 Dead or whatever. That stuff's all fine. But stuff like Call of Duty and Battlefield, and in this case now Titanfall, I won't be playing any of those on the PC. I'll do those on the console where I'm more comfortable. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I'm seeing everybody talking about Titanfall. But I personally think Destiny is going to be the game of the year for 2014. I would like to know your thoughts and or opinions on this. Daniel from Cleveland, Ohio. So Daniel, my opinion on Destiny is I don't have an opinion. I don't even know what that is. Apparently it's like a co-op RPG MMO, but not really MMO because there's only 4 people or something. I don't know. It's an RPG game. I know that. And what I know most about it is I have no interest in it. And the reason I have no interest in it, I'm not even going to bother looking up anything about it, is because the Elder Scrolls Online is going to be coming out, and that is going to be the MMORPG that I'm going to play. And I'm super excited about that because I thought Skyrim was just freaking amazing. And this is going to be kind of like Skyrim, but with your friends. And it's going to be awesome. So I'm more excited for that. Destiny, I'm not even paying attention to it. Honestly, I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to it because I don't hear people talking about it. I don't know, just throwing it out there. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I was watching your new Ghosts of World at War video, and it got me thinking, do you believe in ghosts, and have you ever had a paranormal experience? Thank you, Sky from Pennsylvania. So Sky, I've never had a paranormal experience, but I do believe in ghosts. So there you go. There's a nice short, quick, to the point answer. Yeah. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, my question for you is, what are your thoughts on having old games be free? I was looking back at the original Call of Duty game on Steam, and it still costs $20. I would like to know your opinion on this. Phil from New York. So Phil, where did you get the impression that anything in life is free? The idea of having old games be free is silly. Hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of dollars were spent on some of these games. And just because, they're 5, 10 years old, they should be free? That's silly. I don't think, I can't even, I'm the consumer, right? I'm not the game maker. I'm not the developer. I'm not the publisher. But even as a consumer, I'm like, that's just kind of silly for me to expect something to be free because it's older. By that standard, anything that came out in the 90s should be free. Like, I should be able to head to my local GameStop or something and get every, Game Boy Color game that they have on stock, which last time I checked, they actually had a few, I think. But, yeah, I should be able to get those for free because they're so old. That's silly. Doesn't make any sense. Regardless of how old something is, it still has value. And speaking of old, I am so freaking tempted to go buy a Mosin Nagant rifle today. I don't know why. I'm so, woke up this morning, I'm like, I should go buy a World War II 1945 Russian Mosin Nagant infantry rifle. But then I'm like, well, that's like $100 and something. But at the same time, I'm sitting here like, well, goddamn, the thing was made in 1945. Shouldn't it be free? Just because a game is old, Phil, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just saying that just because something is old doesn't mean that it should be free. And I will say this, though. I do agree with you that the original Call of Duty, if you're talking about the original Call of Duty game that came out freaking, 2003? It shouldn't be $20. I'll say that. It shouldn't be $20. 10 at the most. $20 for a game that is completely single player with awful graphics and probably awful mechanics and gameplay. $20? That game's probably worth $5. Less than that compared to what we have now. But should it be free? No. There should be some kind of price. Next question. He writes, Dear Nero, I just got a dog. My question is, what kind of pets have you had growing up? Keep up the great work, AJ from California. So I'm looking through here. So the first question was a guy from Texas, then Pennsylvania, then New York, then all the way over in California. We're freaking just crossing the entire United States map here. So what kind of pets have I had growing up? Good golly. Countless dogs and cats. Oh, no, not countless. Not countless. Let's think here. 2 dogs. Yeah, it's only 2 dogs and countless cats. So where I grew up, we had a barn out back, and there were like stray cats from like the area. They kind of lived in there and did stuff and had more cats, and there was just lots of cats all around. And I don't know, I wouldn't really consider those to be our cats, but at the same time, like, we had a cat named Smokey, and then Smokey got pregnant and gave birth to Tigger, and why can't I? We gave away the other cats. I can't remember its name, but it gave birth to 2 cats. So there we have 3 cats. All right. And then the other cat had kittens, and I forget how many kittens that one had. And then we got a new cat, because usually we just gave cats away as they kind of came. We had tons of cats. I can't even remember how many. It was absurd. We had a Siamese cat once that ended up having 6 kittens, I think, in 1 litter, and we only kept 1. Who's still here, and her name is Old Man, which is kind of funny because she's a female, but her name is Old Man. The reason she's called Old Man is when she was a kitten, like just a little tiny thing. The kittens are so cute; they can't even open their eyes, like they're little tiny little things. But it was this little kitten, but it had tons of fur growing out of its ears, just randomly. It kind of looked like an old man with all the hair in its ears. So we called it Old Man. And then that was even before we checked if it was a boy or girl, and now we have a girl cat named Old Man. But yeah, I've had tons of cats. A Rottweiler named Ben, and a Great Pyrenees named Buford. Those have been my pets throughout my lifetime. Mostly cats, but dogs are cool too. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I was wondering if since you are a Browns fan, do you like any other Cleveland sports? And if not, then what is your favorite team in Major League Baseball and the NBA? Keep up the great work and have a wonderful day. Sincerely, Brandon from Ohio. So, Brandon, you're right, the Browns are my favorite football team, but I really don't pay a ton of attention to all the other sports. I used to. When I did pay attention to sports, or other sports, I, for whatever reason, thought the Toronto teams were kind of neat, right? So, the Browns are my favorite football team, and for whatever reason, I thought the Toronto Blue Jays and the Toronto Maple Leafs were just awesome teams, and I liked them. But then I stopped paying attention. Now I can't even name half the players on their team. Like when I thought the Blue Jays were kind of neat, I started paying attention to baseball, and I liked watching the Blue Jays. That's when they had Roy Halladay. That's when they had Vernon Wells. That's when they had Alex Rios. That's when they had Rob Barajas. And then when the Maple Leafs, when I pay attention to them, they had Vesa Toscala at goalie, and they had Thomas Cabriolet. And I'm trying to remember names. Matt Sundin, Darcy Tucker, which was awesome because he fought everybody. I'm trying to remember names, but they're kind of trying to evade me. But yeah, I used to pay a lot of attention to it, like back in like '08 maybe, and then I just kind of stopped paying attention to it because I think sports get overdone. I like how the NFL does it. There's 16 games. Every game matters. There's 100 and how much in baseball? There's 80 something in basketball. There's I don't know how many in hockey. Definitely more than 60, right? So there's just so many games that the games don't matter. And then come playoff time, like in basketball, they have a best of 7 game series. It's like, this isn't even intense. The only games that matter are like games 5 and 6 and 7. Like, this is. I don't like how every other major sport does their schedule as well as their playoffs. I think the NFL has it right. So I don't really pay attention to all the other sports. Only football. Next question, he writes. Dear Nero, my question is, what inspired you to do YouTube? Harris from England, UK. So Harris, what inspired me to do YouTube? So I watched YouTube a ton. I think I've answered this question many times before, but it's one of those ones that gets like asked all the time. I was watching YouTube for like a long time, since like 2008-ish. And I don't know, I liked it. You could see the community kind of just building up around it. You could see your favorite YouTubers play. And as I was watching all these videos, and I was becoming more and more a part of this community, and I was getting better as a player myself. And the same I started YouTube for the same reason I'm sure probably 50% of you started YouTube, because everybody has a channel, everybody has a capture card, everybody has a YouTube channel, and a lot of you post to it. A lot of you guys make your own videos, not all, but a lot of you guys do make your own videos. And the reason I got on YouTube was probably the same reason you guys got on YouTube. You just, you watch it every day, you play the games every day, and why not make a YouTube channel to go along with that? Take your hobby to a whole new level, and then look where it's at now. Freaking sitting here, big old YouTube channel and lots of subscribers watching Dear Nero, and I don't know, it's awesome. It's really fun. I love YouTube. And what inspired me, I guess, same thing that inspired all of you. I don't know, just something about it. It's fun, it's creative, it's just awesome. I don't know. I guess I should have thought of a better answer to that question when I wrote it down. Next question, he writes. Dear Nero, in a previous video, you said you didn't like competitive battling in Pokemon. But now you've started to play and upload some Pokemon Showdown to Nero's Let's Plays. So I'd like to know how your feelings towards it have changed. From Jackson from Missouri. Well, Jackson, Missouri, you're exactly right. A few episodes of Dear Nero ago, I was like, don't even ask me. Don't even ask me to post no Pokemon Showdown now. Because that game's hard. You gotta learn all kinds of different stuff. And then I started playing it. And I started getting better at it. And I don't know, I'm by no means amazing. I'm like a middle of the road probably at Pokemon Showdown, but I'm learning because there's freaking so much to learn. I still don't even know what half the Pokemon are, because I played Gen 1, basically Gens 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have no idea who any of the Pokemon are from those generations, really. I know everything about Gen 1, I know a bit about Gen 6. And I don't know anything about the guys in between, so I'm trying to learn things as I go. So it was definitely long. At first, I was like, I just don't want to learn all that. And then we started playing, and now I want to learn all that. Now I want to get better at it. I've talked about it in lots of different recent episodes of Dear Nero. It's like, don't just be good at one thing. One of the things I don't like about Call of Duty, or no, not Call of Duty, but Call of Duty fans, is that Call of Duty fans like to pretend that no other game exists and only Call of Duty is, all-powerful, almighty, omnipotent Call of Duty. And that's the only game people should focus on and stuff. It's like, guys, it's really not that hard to be good at Call of Duty. It doesn't take very long to, pass that threshold. Be good at other stuff. Be good at lots of stuff. I've been good at Call of Duty many years, and then I started playing Battlefield 4 this year, and now I'm good at that too. And now I'm trying to play Pokemon Showdown, and I'm trying to get good at that too. I'm just trying to become a more all-rounded gamer, is what I'm trying to do. Just be good at lots of different stuff. And Pokemon Showdown was like, it's something I'm interested in because, I like Pokemon. Pokemon was my childhood, playing Pokemon Red on my Game Boy Color, just growing up. That was my childhood. And I have an interest in it, and that interest is there. There's a lot to learn, and I'm not very good at it yet, but I want to learn it. And that's why I ended up deciding to start playing Pokemon Showdown. And it's just a lot of fun. If you go over to youtube.com, youtube.com/Nero's Let's Plays, which there's always a link in the description to it if you guys want to check it out. You can see me and Cypher. Cypher's kind of like coaching me through different battles and stuff like that, and it was just a good fun time. Like, I was laughing watching it. Like, after we were done recording, I was laughing watching it. It was just a fun time playing Pokemon with my friends and getting better at it. I don't know, it's fun. I guess that's the biggest reason why I started playing and posting Pokemon Showdown. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I have recently been talking to lots of my friends who love to read Stephen King or anything else scary. This made me wonder if you have an opinion on horror movies, books, and or Stephen King. Thank you for your opinion, Quinn from Colorado. So Quinn, I'm not much of a reader. I've never been much of a reader. I've read one book. Maybe two. Did I read Holes? Maybe. One book. Read one book. It was Where the Red Fern Grows. Which I'm pretty positive is required by most schools, like most of the middle schools to read. Yeah, I read that one all the way through. I loved it. It was such a good book. It was so sad. It was awesome. It was a cool book. Where the Red Fern Grows it's one of those books, I think I've read it twice, or at least I read it and then maybe read half of it again or something. I don't know. But yeah, I read it, but the only reason I did read it was because I was in school. I've never been much of a reader. But I like the stuff Stephen King does, but it's only the movie stuff. Like, he doesn't really have, at least I don't think in my head, that he doesn't really have a ton of input onto the movies based upon his novels. But the movies based upon Stephen King novels are always good. Like, I'm trying to think. There's It, Pet Sematary, The Shining, Shawshank freaking Redemption. How did I forget that one? I think those are all I can really think of is those four. I think I've seen those four, but all of them were good. And It, oh my god, I'm going to tell you a story about It. Alright, so you guys seen the movie It? The freaking killer clown that, like, haunts, I forget the whole basis of it, to be honest. I remember it scared the piss out of me. I'm going to say 11, probably 11 or 12. Staying at my friend's house. He lives on a farm on top of a hill, miles from freaking anybody. Right? Just one of those. Farm on top of a hill, giant farm. That farm and his family goes back generations, so they have tons of land. And so we're sitting there, and we're down there in his living room. It was nighttime, and we're watching, like, I forget what we were watching. And then he ended up falling asleep, and It came on. And I'm like, oh, cool, scary movie. Because, you're at that age when you're going into, becoming a teenager and stuff. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm ready to watch scary movies, sure. And It comes on. And then it starts thundering outside, and they have, like, these big, like, picture, like, an old-style farmhouse, all right? And it's got, like, these big windows, right, in the living room, and there's a thunderstorm going on outside, and all you can see is, like, rain and thunder in this field, and, like, a soft light off in the distance coming from the light next to one of their other barns, and it's, like, it was just creepy, and then It comes on, and there's, like, this clown that's, like, killing people and stuff, and, like, oh, it was scary. I didn't sleep very well that night. And that coupled in with the fact that, you're staying at someone else's house, and it was weird. It was definitely very, very weird, very scary for a little young me. But it shaped me to the man I am today. Not really, but it was kind of cool. I like Stephen King movies. They're all pretty good. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, you've said many times that you like to be a shotgun player, and I was wondering what drew you to shotguns. Also, I checked your battle log, and I'm going to pop in here. Battle log is kind of like the Call of Duty Elite, but for Battlefield. And I see that you use the Sega 12K a lot, but what about the Sega 12K do you prefer over, say, the R870 MCS? Hope you have a wonderful day. Alistair from South Africa. So, Alistair, you're right in saying that I'm a shotgun player. Most games that come out, I like to be the shotgun player. In Black Ops 2, my top weapon was a shotgun. In Titanfall Beta, for the most part, my top weapon is a shotgun. I don't know, I just like shotguns. Whenever I play a game, I like the idea of shotguns. What I like about shotguns is you're crippling yourself ridiculously from any kind of a ranged combat. Any kind of a medium to a long range, you're just completely neutered, right? And I like that challenge. And I also like that you're just all powerful close range, right? That's what I like about shotguns. I started liking shotguns for the most part in World of War. I liked it because there was a double barrel shotgun in that game, which you got 2 shots, then you had to reload, so you're basically screwed if you didn't have those 2 shots. I had no range, and I only had 2 shots, but if I connected my shots and I was accurate, I could take people out. There's something about the satisfaction of getting a kill with a shotgun. Shotguns are really skill-based, That's why I'd say about shotguns. That's why I think I like shotguns. As for Battlefield 4, I think the M416 is now my number one gun. But for a while, the Sega 12K, it's a semi-automatic shotgun, was my top gun. Why do I like that over, say, the R870? The R870 is pretty booty in Battlefield 4. If you're going to get a pump action shotgun, this is how you balance it. All right, listen to me, game developers, because I know all of you like to watch Dear Nero. I know that for a fact. I know Activision and EA both are watching this video. I know Infinity Ward and Treyarch and Sledgehammer and everybody is watching this video. So just listen here. Just listen up. Dice, I know you're here too. All you guys watch Dear Nero. Pump action shotguns should have a slow fire rate, but a really good one-hit kill potential. Right? When you play Battlefield 4, the R870 is a pump action shotgun. It rarely, for me anyway, gets a one-hit kill. It just doesn't. It just gives you hit markers, and then the time it comes like for you to like pump out your shell and then get that next shot off, you're dead in that time. Right? It's just not a very good gun. The Saiga 12K is a semi-automatic shotgun that is more consistent in getting one-hit kills than most of the pump-action shotguns. It's just a really powerful shotgun. And I've noticed, like, as Call of Duty is starting to progress, that they're kind of starting to take away pump actions. I guess Call of Duty, not really Battlefield, but they're trying to take away, like, the power of pump actions in favor of semi-automatic guns. Now, I'm not sure yet, I haven't developed, like, a full theory on this, but I'm fairly positive that that's probably something to go along the lines of, they're trying to appease new players, they're trying to add more randomness, trying to take out the skill-based stuff. Like, you look at Infinity Ward games, none of the guns like to kick. The pump actions give you hit markers like crazy, whereas the semi-automatic, like, in Ghost, there's no reason not to use either the MTS or the Bulldog. There's no reason to use any of the pump action shotguns over the TAC-12 or the FP6. There's no reason to use either one of them over the semi-automatic shotguns. They don't necessarily have very much more range. They'll get you a hit marker, then you'll die while you're trying to pump out the shell and get a new shell in there. Why not just use the semi-automatic spray and pray, right? Semi-automatic needs to be weak sauce. That's how the Modern Warfare 2 Striker was actually pretty weak sauce. It was very weak. And that's how they balanced it. It was very weak, but it had like a freaking 14 shell mag that you could just spam like crazy. Right? It shouldn't be high damage, high fire rate. It should be high damage, super low fire rate. And I'll say this about Battlefield 4. I think that the Spaz 12 shotgun in that game is actually pretty balanced in that it's pump action. It's got that fire rate cap, right? But it does have pretty good one-hit kill potential, especially compared to like an R870 in that game. It just seems to have more range and it seems to get more one-hit kills, which is what pump action shotgun should have. But I feel as though video games, like as of the past couple of years, or at least Call of Duty and Battlefield, they are kind of like basically saying screw you to the tried and true pump action and just going towards the semi-automatic shotguns. I just really don't like it that they're making it so pump actions, which are my favorite. I mean, technically my favorite's a double barrel, but no game includes a double barrel anymore. But it goes double barrel, pump action, semi-automatic. That's how I like my shotguns in order. And it seems as though the last favorite, the semi-automatics, are typically the best ones now. I don't know. Next question, he writes. Dear Nero, in Call of Duty, which is more attributed to success? Raw talent, practice, or both? Love the videos. Nick from Idaho. So Nick, I'd say it's probably 95% practice and probably maybe 5% raw talent. Of course, he was just completely made up numbers, but that's what I would say. Call of Duty itself is a game where you just gotta learn it and you'll do good. And they really don't change a whole lot. Like, if you get around the 2 KD threshold, like in there, between like a 1.7 KD and a 2 something KD, right? You get up in there and you're in that like threshold, you'll be within that threshold for every Call of Duty game. You get good at one Call of Duty game, you'll be good at just about all the Call of Duty games. That's basically how it goes. And it just comes down to learning stuff. It just comes down to learning the maps, learning the guns, and just general gun skill. I think one of the things that kind of separates a good Call of Duty player from a bad Call of Duty player is instinct. And that's kind of a difficult one. It's like, here's how you get instinct. But you can't teach instinct, right? Instinct is when you're playing Call of Duty, and there's no UAV up, but you know where the enemy team is at. because you've been in that situation before. You've been in a situation where the B flag is being contested and you have A and they have C and you're over in this area and you know where they like to spawn in that area. It's Call of Duty is a game where basically you just learn as you play. And if you actually pay attention and you just don't play it mindlessly like so many people do, then you can actually pick up things and be good at it. That's really Call of Duty, at its core. Is just any really first-person shooter game is really just instinct, learning where to go and what to do in just about every situation, and that's once you get that, then you're just good at it, and that comes from practice. That doesn't come from raw talent. Of course, raw talent helps. Just randomly just being really good at a video game, and I'd say a lot of us are probably like that. Like I'm really good at most first-person shooters, but like stuff like League of Legends, I'm not good at. But any first-person shooter, I can just kind of hop in there and be a definite asset to my team right away. I'd say I do have some raw talent when it comes to first-person shooters, but that doesn't make me a good player. What makes me a good player is all the time I put into the game, practicing it and learning it and doing all kinds of different stuff. So that's my answer for you. It's mostly practice, just like anything else in life. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I'm 15 and I'm in the 9th grade. And last Friday the 14th, I made a really stupid decision and decided to buy alcohol from a friend. I put it in my book bag and didn't really mess with it the rest of the day. When lunch came, a teacher came over and asked me if I had alcohol in my backpack. And I did, and I gave it to her. It turns out that one of my other friends got caught with his bottle, and they ratted everybody out. I now have a criminal record. It's just a misdemeanor, but still, I'm going to be going through a really hard time. Everybody in my family is treating me different and not even looking at me. I don't know what to do, and I've told my mom sorry multiple times, but she still doesn't treat me the same. Please just give me some advice. Thanks. Trevor from Florida. So first and foremost, Trevor, you're just going to go ahead and do as I say and not as I did. Don't be drinking when you're 15, even though I did. But yeah, don't do it. It's not, I don't know. It's weird, right? I feel like I'm talking to like my child. Like, no. You just do as I say and not as I do. Yeah. It's like how can I give advice to something that I did? It's weird. So, and I think it was in last week's episode of Dear Nero, I talked about how I ended up getting arrested and how that kind of affected me is like the same situation as like what's happening with you. It's like, everyone in your family is like, oh, look at him over there. You don't get any of the same privileges that you had prior. It feels different. It feels though you're not being treated the same as you were beforehand. And the only way to beat that and the only way to like have that all go away is time. That's the only thing that's going to happen. Over time, your family will begin to trust you again. Over time, this entire thing is going to fade away, and eventually, you'll find that the stupid stuff you do when you're younger is just kind of a funny story when you're older. That's, I can joke about being arrested now, and it's not a big deal. And that's because so much time has passed that can they really still be like, oh, God, you broke our hearts that day. But it's not saying like to go out and do stupid stuff. But what I am saying is that like if something really bad happens to you, like similar to what happened to Trevor in Florida here, who got caught with alcohol in school, which is a horrible thing and probably that's a lot of trouble he probably got into. I got caught with a cigarette in school and I got fined $500. It was I never told that story. Yeah, they had like a search thing because there was like a bomb threat. Searched my backpack. And I had a pack of cigarettes with one cigarette left in there that I did not even know was there. Why would I lie? Why would I lie on Dear Nero? Like, I have no reason to lie. I'm just saying, I did not know it was there. And that sounds like such a lie to like the teacher, like, oh my God, I didn't know that was there. I really didn't. That was like from the previous weekend. Like, I was out of cigarettes and I wanted cigarettes. I didn't even know I had one. I got caught with it and it was like a $500 fine. It was freaking crazy. But at first, that was a bad thing. I got caught with a cigarette in school. That was a horrible thing. Like, this is when I was like 16 or maybe 17. So my mom's like, oh, you're smoking, and yelling at me and such. And at first it was bad, but give it a few years, now it's just kind of a joke. Because I kind of got caught with that cigarette in school. That was funny. And so what I'm saying to you, Trevor, and everyone else out there, is if you end up getting in trouble for something and you're really sorry about it, and it feels as though nothing's ever going to be the same, it will be the same. Just takes a while. So that's my advice to you, Trevor. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I've been a subscriber to you for about 5 months now, and I really like your content. What I was wondering is, what do you do to enhance your gameplays? Do you use Sony Vegas or any other video editing software? Because it looks a lot more colorful than the actual Call of Duty Ghost. Thank you for looking at this, and have a wonderful day to everyone out there that's watching this, if this is on Dear Nero. Jack from Illinois. So Jack, I do. It's called color correction. That's really the extent of like what I do to like a typical video. Is I just make the colors better, and it's kind of a hard thing to do when it comes to Call of Duty Ghost, because Ghost is like so dreary and green, and then like I color correct it, and I'm like, look, this is what the game could look like. This is how it could be. But no, we're Infinity Ward. Things need to be dark and dreary and depressing and suicidal, because we're Infinity Ward. It's awful. They should really just take lessons from me. Next and final question. He's going to write, Dear Nero, I've been watching your videos since you had about 19k subscribers, but I've never heard you talk about any of the Fallout games. Have you ever played them? And if you haven't played them, will you ever consider playing them and possibly posting them on Nero's Let's Plays? If this is on Dear Nero, thank you. Trevor from Florida. Well, I guess that's the same person. Trevor from Florida. Huh, guess we got two from the same person. Well, Trevor from Florida, V2. I'd post like 12 episodes of like a Let's Play of Fallout New Vegas. I've tried. Lord knows I've tried to like Fallout. I just can't do it. It's gross looking. You're in a desert. It's dreary. It's like an Infinity Ward game. You can't sprint. Yet you're in this giant Skyrim-style world with no sprinting. It's just not a fun game to me. I can't get into it. I've tried. I just can't. Like, some games are for some people and some games aren't, I guess. There's a lot of you probably don't like Borderlands, and I'm just the biggest Borderlands fanboy in the world. Doesn't mean either one. Doesn't mean it's a bad game. Doesn't mean it's a good game. Just means it's a game I like. I think the same goes for Fallout. I don't think Fallout's a good game. In my opinion, I don't like it. I think it's boring. I think it's slow. I think it's dreary. I think it's like COD Ghost, but in RPG form. Yeah. That's how I think of it. But other people, like so many people, are always talking about how they love Fallout. Like, you listen to PK, they sit there and just talk about Fallout. And I'm like, that game sounds so much fun. And I keep trying. Like, I've tried. Like, it's literally the definition of insanity. I keep trying to like Fallout New Vegas. I just can't. I just can't. It's so... I don't know. I can't. It feels like work. Probably because you can't sprint. And you're literally walking in a desert. Like, picture Skyrim, and you need to walk from, like, Riften to Whiterun. And you can't sprint. That has been my Fallout New Vegas experience. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Dear Nero. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And if you guys would like to send in your guys' questions for next week's episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube. Make the title of the message Dear Nero. And if it's a good question, an entertaining question, and above all, a question I've not yet answered before, I will do my best to go ahead and answer that for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to rate it. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.